Welcome to the Untitled podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Stonewall, alongside the birthday boy, Lorenzo. Roach. How you doing, birthday boy?
I feel like a true man.
Why is that?
Honestly,
The
I'm
big
finally legal.
2-1?
Finally legal to be able to do this podcast. I don't have to hide anymore.
Yeah, you might get deported because you're under 21, dude. Is that how it works?
I mean, I'm not trying to find out, but
So, what are you doing tonight for your birthday?
well, I'm skipping a class, and
Love that.
we're just gonna chill until your girlfriend gets off, and then me, you, our girls will go out and just get a couple drinks, maybe eat some fries.
The fries are so good. Anywhere. Nick's fries though, top notch. I think one day on the pod we need to just like rank all
I'm
the
gonna
fries in
have
Bloomington.
to. I'm gonna have to take a trip to Nick's this weekend.
Are
Test
Five Guys? Do you
myself.
think Five Guys will be?
On the
Are they
list?
allowed to be on the list?
If they are, I feel like they're going to be towards the bottom.
Wow, wow. We don't like Five Guys here. Five Guys is of the devil. They took too much time away from me. All right,
They
so
ruined your life.
they ruined a little
Scarred
bit
for life.
vaguely. They ruined my work life for the rest of my life. So I just kind of wanted to get into before we do like sports stuff. Like what have we been watching? What have we been playing? Like video game wise, what have you been reading? Because I know we're big readers here, right? Roach? Big reader.
No comment.
No comment. Okay. All right. So what have you been playing on your Switch?
So I've still been playing a lot of Breath of the Wild.
Are you deep in it?
I'm pretty deep. I think I'm starting to get. So the thing with that game, you can beat it right from the start. You can go face the final boss.
What?
Like it's so open. You right when you start the game, there's like a tutorial area kind of.
Yeah.
You do like the first 4 shrines, and then right after that, if you want, you can go take on the final boss.
What are shrines? I don't know what that means. Are those like
So
are
shrines,
those bosses?
shrines are basically just like these little challenge puzzle rooms that you find throughout the map, throughout the world. And when you complete them, you get these things called spirit orbs, and you can use them to like level up your health or level up your stamina and stuff. So you can do you after you finish the first 4, you can leave the tutorial area, and then you can go take on the final boss if you want. You're going to be screwed because you only have like 3 hearts and not
Yeah.
that much stamina, and that stuff's important when you fight. And you're not going to have very good weapons. But I've kind of embarrassed to say I put already like 40 hours into that game
Hey, there's nothing to be
since
embarrassed
I've
about.
gotten
We've all
it.
been there.
I've been grinding that game, but it's pretty good. I don't know. I feel like I'll take on the final boss, but I don't know if I want to yet.
So you're just
There's
like
just so
holding it
much to
off
explore.
till.
Yeah, well, I'm just keep exploring like other areas I haven't been to.
So what's your major technically? Game
Just
design.
video game design. Yeah.
So since you have switched over, like we switched end of freshman year.
Yeah, I switched over like end of freshman, start of sophomore.
So how has that made you like appreciate games like that more? Because you just said it's
I
so open. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I look at a lot of video games differently now. Like stuff like COD, like really simple shooters like that, like multiplayer shooters,
hmm
aren't super crazy when it comes to
Like
um
design, like code.
yeah, like the design. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sure
Well,
there's
the
tons of
codes.
code,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah. You know what I mean?
in terms of like the structure design, a lot of it's based on what we the players want to do. There's a lot of games that it feels like we're making choices, but really those choices are like
Minimal.
they're yeah, I don't know how to explain
Well,
it.
you
It's
have like choices, but you have like 3 main ones, or like you're.
like if I'm playing, I use the example of Portal. It's like I'm playing Portal and I feel like I'm solving these puzzles in my own way, but really the developers designed it like the
Yeah,
level for you to figure it out in that way. But it's weird
yeah.
because you feel like you're figuring it out, and it doesn't seem like you're being forced to do something, but you kind of are. You just don't know it.
But you just get there organically by yourself.
Right. And so I don't know. I look at games a lot differently now. Like I think Breath of the Wild is a pretty good example of the game gives you those first 4 shrines. You get 4 abilities, and those 4 abilities are your like lifeblood throughout the game. You do everything with those,
Hmm.
and what you can do with them is kind of like up to you. Not so much designed by the designers in a sense. They don't like force you to do certain things. You just
Hmm.
kind of like pick your own path with them. So that's really cool to like see that in school and then like actually like watch it play out when I play games now.
Yeah, for sure. Um, I wasn't like, I guess like I'm a journalism major now, so like whenever like I've been reading more stuff, so I think that's the only thing that's like different for me personally. But like,
Yeah.
so I never noticed like when I'm like okay, I always thought that like all these like big articles were like flowery and like you know how in high school we're taught like put your like brush strokes on it, like make it your like you know what I mean.
Yeah. Like with your stamp.
These things are simple. Like it's just
Yeah.
like getting that information is more of the art than like writing it. I mean, obviously it needs to be well written, but yeah, you know what I mean. I don't know. It's just different. Um, so Clone Wars.
That show's so dope.
Explain to the people what Clone Wars is.
So Star Wars: The Clone Wars is a TV show, animated TV show that originally was on Cartoon Network, but now it's all on Disney Plus. And I've
You
already
watched it
seen.
like when it was
Yeah,
happening.
I watched I watched all of it. I think our freshman year of college, and you or
Me,
have recently just gotten into it. And I've been watching it with you a little bit.
yeah, because I'm a diehard Star Wars fan. Never
Yeah,
watched like when that came out. I think we got like a little too old for it. I don't know because I remember when the movie came out. I was like, Clone Wars, blah blah blah.
yeah. It was. We were. I remember we were in like 4th grade, I think.
Yeah, so
So I don't know.
I
I
was
was
probably
big
watching
into
the
Star Wars
wrestling.
at
That
that
was probably
time.
my like. I was still into wrestling, watching John Cena.
I was big into Star Wars at that time, but yeah. So we've been watching it. You've been watching it since we've been in on this Star Wars grind since Rise of Skywalker
Yeah, so I made my girlfriend watch all the Star Wars movies and
and rank them.
rank them. She didn't really like that. She's like, these all suck. But then it wanted me to start watching Clone Wars because I don't
Yeah,
know, like I didn't realize how good it
your
was.
girlfriend thinks Phantom Menace is the best Star Wars movie.
It's because she loves Jar Jar Binks, but I think she does that just to spite me. If I'm being honest, just to spite me.
But we digressed. Anyways, back to the show.
Okay.
So the show just takes place between episodes 2 and 3 and shows you kind of like what was going on in the thick of the Clone Wars.
Yeah, because we don't ever
And
see the Clone Wars. They mentioned it in New Hope, and they're like, "Oh, I fought in the Clone Wars," and then we're like, "Oh, we're gonna get movies about the Clone Wars." No, we
no,
didn't.
you get the start of it and you get
The
the
very
end of
end.
it.
Yeah,
So I really I love that show because you get to see a lot of the clone interaction. I love the
yeah.
clones.
The
That's my
clones are
favorite part.
dope. They're the best part.
And so yeah, that's pretty nice. Some crazy storylines in there that are pretty cool to watch play out. Darth Maul returns, spoiler alert.
Whoa, dude, are you kidding me?
Hey, it's
Whoa.
2020. It's 2020. The show came out in 2008. I don't want to hear it.
So that's the whole reason I wanted to watch it is because of Darth Maul, and he's dope in it. So happy. And yeah, I always thought it was like a kid show. Like it wasn't gonna be. It's honestly not.
It's animated, which is the only
Yeah,
kid part about it, but there's some good stories in there. It's
and
just
it's
Star
pretty
Wars
like,
content.
and it's like mature. You know what I mean? It's not like
Yeah, it's Star Wars content. Like
yeah, yeah,
it's just animated.
and it's all canon.
It all
It
matters.
all matters. Yeah. So I mean, we're middle of season 6, so we've been grinding this thing for a while. So yeah, Clone Wars is dope. Go watch it.
Yeah.
So I know you're not really big into this, but Super Tuesday was yesterday, and that's where like 14 of like the biggest states vote for the delegates. You know,
Hmm.
and something crazy happened and everyone basically dropped out that was a moderate and supported Biden. So like Buttigieg, Klobuchar, and I Bloomberg just dropped out like 30 minutes ago, and all endorsing Biden because they realized if it was all spread out that they were just going to divide the party even more. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So now it's Warren needs to drop out first of all and endorse Sanders. That's all I'm saying, because those two are the progressives. So it's kind of old school versus new school, even though Bernie Sanders is as old as dirt. He just has the young vote.
Yeah.
So I just thought it was crazy because people were writing Biden like they were like, Joe Biden definitely needs to drop out.
And then he just wrote you said it here. You said right here, Biden back from the dead.
Back from the dead. He looked like a freaking carcass on the stage.
Just like Palpatine.
Just like Chief Palpatine, baby.
Won't die.
So I just kind of want to talk about that.
Joe Biden, the Phantom Menace.
Yes. So what? I know you. I just want to know from like you don't really have that much knowledge about all this. What is your opinion about what's going on?
My plebeian political knowledge.
Because I was a political science major, so like I kind of like I don't care as much as I used to, but I still like care. Like, what's you as like a normal person not in the political like?
So
no.
I want to preface this with I am politically challenged. I do not. I keep up with none of this stuff. I'm probably the worst type of citizen for it, but honestly, I don't even know, other than the fact that Bernie Sanders is labeled a social. This is going to tick some people off. Other than the fact that Bernie Sanders is, in quotes, a socialist. I don't know. I kind of view him as like a communist. So I don't really know where I'm going with this. All I gotta say is I know Trump's an idiot. He's just an idiot. So I'm down to vote for anyone who's not Trump. Basically.
I mean, I don't like Trump either. Obviously, he wants to deport my family.
And for me, it's not even like I get he's doing some things like these political agendas, whatever. But for me, it just comes from the fact that I know he's an idiot. I know what he's trying to do. Like the whole big wall thing was like his thing, when he was first trying the campaign.
I love hearing this from you because like we've never talked about politics.
Literally don't. I never think about politics. I don't.
But that's important because the normal person doesn't think about politics every day.
Yeah. So I see.
And normal people are who swing these elections. I
honestly don't think he's that important. Like, I don't think he's going to do anything. So I just don't really think about him ever. Like I said, I kind of picture him as a communist.
So here's the thing that like gets people our age to vote for Sanders, right? He wants to get rid of all of our student debt.
Yeah, that's just not possible. So that's
why sign me up. Hey, listen, I'm just saying, if I need to vote for somebody, I might go Bernie just to get my student debt gone. Just saying. Our
student debt might be gone, but I don't even want to know what's going to come to bite us.
That's but this is the thing that I'm going to think about. Say he gets elected 4 years, gets away all my student debt. He doesn't get elected again. That's fine. I don't have to pay my student debt.
Honestly, if he gets rid of all our if he was to get elected, get rid of our student debt, and then die like the first year in office.
Oh my god. I mean, I guess that's the risk you take there.
Then he's just known as a hero and
a martyr for student debt.
Right. He got rid of all this student debt. If he dies in office and doesn't fulfill his term, and then shit hits the wall, then he's not going to be remembered for that.
I don't think that's the saying.
All I gotta say is I don't really know anything about politics. I know I just rambled and made no sense.
I love it because Sanders
doesn't matter. Trump's an idiot. So I'm either voting for LeBron James or Joe Biden.
And we're in Indiana, so our vote doesn't matter anyway. So, is your mic gonna totally just like stop working this week?
No, I've fixed that issue. My display will not turn off,
I love it.
and then my mic will stay on the whole time.
So before this, we were supposed to. It's 11:36. We were supposed to start at like 11, but for 30 minutes, my mic wasn't working.
Yeah,
So
try
I don't
putting
even.
it all on me.
I don't even. No. Okay. At least it wasn't in the middle of it.
Dude, I was only gone for like a minute. Come on.
You're right. All right. We went on for a little bit about stuff that's not sports, stuff we don't really know about, politics. But let's get into sports. Your favorite sport, football. Your favorite league? Your favorite league?
Easily.
Okay. The NFL. What do you think? Okay, what are you going to say?
I'm a self-proclaimed NFL aficionado, as Stephen A. might say.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm anti-Stephen A., so anti-first take.
You love Stephen A. Stop.
What do you think of the CBA with the new schedule extending to 17 games, the preseason down to 3, and then an added playoff team to each conference? I know that's a lot. Give me your thoughts.
Okay. The whole 17-game schedule thing,
Mhm.
I think sounds stupid. One, it's an odd number. That's just dumb.
Yeah.
Especially in the NFL when you're playing, you have your 6 division games. Like, I don't know. I just feel like adding that extra game is going to matter a lot in the standings because right now you can be an even 500, like 8-8, or so I don't know. I feel like it's going to play with the way the standings are a little bit, not as big of an effect, but it's just something to consider. And then also, their whole thing is reduce the workload like on the players, right?
Yeah.
Like maintain player health, player
You're adding
safety.
a whole freaking week.
You're adding a whole extra game, and you're only getting rid of a preseason game, which, if anything,
None of them play.
They don't play that week, so you're taking away a week of rest for a lot of them to make them play an extra game. I know a lot of the star NFL players aren't happy with it, and
Because they
really,
so isn't their salary capped for that game?
for the 17th game,
Yeah.
there was like there's going to be a proposed like $250K salary cap for the extra game,
Like what?
which is insane.
I'm not lacing up my cleats for less than $5
And
million.
they agreed based on that, adding the extra game, taking away the preseason game, and the expanded playoff. They were going to give the players like an extra 1.5% of revenue share, and I saw that basically equates to like $5 billion.
Oh
So,
my God.
yeah, I'm just like, I don't know. I've watched some ESPN stuff on it and like people giving their takes as well, and it just also just hearing what the players say, like they just need to say cut out a preseason game or two. Do not add any extra games to the regular season, or if they do, one thing I kind of was reading about was a proposal of players being capped to like 16 games, but there's 17, so it would make the teams have to use some of their reserves. So like this
What?
week, we're gonna rest our QB. So like Rodgers.
That's
play
the dumbest thing ever.
Well, so what it does, you'd have to expand your roster because you are being forced to play more reserves, and it would it would expand the number of games played, which would increase the revenue, but it also keeps the players to their 16 game like usual routines while throwing in a week of rest.
Okay, so say the Packers, they're in the playoff hunt. It comes down to the last game. So say the division's close. Only division winners getting in.
Yeah.
You're telling me week 16 they're not going to play Rodgers?
No, and that's the thing. It's not like a set week. You can do it whenever.
I get that. But
so say they come up and they play like the Deadskins one week. You think you can win that game without Rodgers, you should probably just let him rest that week so he's available at the end of the season.
But I don't understand why my playoff hopes should be like tied to my backup quarterback.
It's not.
Okay.
If you're a good if you're a good team that's going to be in the playoffs,
But what if you're not?
that one,
You know what I mean?
you're right. And if you're not, that's fine. Then you're just not.
Okay, and then with that, they wanted to add an extra team into the playoffs. Like if I'm
Also
those
that,
2 seeds, what?
that I don't like. I don't like the extra playoff team. I do like the idea of the playoffs getting bigger, but not at the expense of only having one first round bye.
That's insane to me.
The 2 first round buys has been a thing. I don't even my whole life.
And
easily.
I think that changes like the titles from the last. You know what I mean? Like, oh, the Patriots.
The first round bye is huge.
The Patriots only had to play for the 2 seed for the last 10 years. Like, I mean, they're content with being the 2 seed because they get the bye. You know?
Right. It's just I don't know if it's tough because I don't know if you can add 2 teams to the playoffs and still maintain 2 first round buys. I feel like you'd have to end up making it like 3 first round buys, but that's too many.
Yeah, it's too many buys at that point.
So if you're gonna expand the playoffs, I feel like it'd have to be by 4 teams. But at that point, there's so many
everyone's
teams
getting
making it. Yes,
I think
so
too many teams get it anyway.
I think the way the playoff format is now is actually it's pretty good. Now that I've thought about it, you know what I mean. We're trying to make a gripe over expanding the playoffs when I think it's a pretty good system now.
Yeah,
it's
I think
short and concise. It's like kept to approximately a month.
If anything, I thought they were gonna lower have one less game in the season. You know what I mean? Like I didn't think they were gonna add another one and then add I don't know.
Yeah.
You're essentially adding 2 games.
Yeah, I could see. I don't know. I can't see the regular season shortening at all, but I'm open to it expanding. It's just a matter of balancing the players' health and those extra games.
I think you need I think you need those 4 games because no one played in the preseason this year, and the first few weeks of football sucked.
Well, that's not going to stop them from not playing.
But I'm saying, like, if you have less preseason, like, I don't know. I just think the beginning becomes the preseason, and how are they going to get their rosters? I don't know. I think it's fine how it is.
That's why I'm saying if it was to expand, just reduce the amount of games each player can play. Because everyone's getting those extra games. Everyone's going to have to do the same thing and rest players.
Okay.
So it's not like anyone's getting an advantage.
I don't like that because if I'm a playoff team or if I'm a fringe playoff team, like I just don't get why I can't play my best player every game. If I'm a fringe playoff team,
I nut up or shut up.
What? Yeah, with my best players, I nut up or shut up with my best players.
If you have to rest your best player once,
not my backup quarterback.
If you got to rest your best player once, you can win. You can win that game. There's plenty of times players get injured and you're playing without them anyways.
I get that, but I shouldn't be required to win a game like that.
But it's okay. But it's proposed one game.
I get that. I get that it's just one game, but so many playoff races come down to one game.
Okay.
And like I don't want to get in because Deshaun Kaiser was playing one game.
It's not like the Patriots alone are having to rest one player.
Everyone is.
So it affects everyone the same way.
I know. They just shouldn't do it. They shouldn't add anything. If this is at the expense that your best player doesn't play one game, I don't think it's worth it. You see what I'm saying?
No.
If I'm degrading the product on the field to add one game, what's the point? Do you see where I'm coming from?
The point is, there's more revenue. The players can potentially gain some of that.
Not if it's capped at $200K a game.
That's not going to be a thing either.
Just leave it how it is. That's my thought.
My thought is, be open to expanding. I'm not saying you have to have that for rest of player system. That was just something I read about. But I thought about it, and I thought it would seem kind of cool. It adds a wrinkle of strategy into the season.
I don't want to watch one Patriots XFL game.
Why not?
Because the XFL sucks.
Really? It's doing pretty well.
It's doing well because ESPN and Fox are shoving it down your throats.
Hey, ESPN and Fox shove the NFL down my throats.
But that's a better product to eat. That's a gentle swallow.
It had to start somewhere.
All right, moving on. AJ Green gets the franchise tag. Why? Why is he getting franchise tag?
They're gonna tag him and trade him.
Are they gonna trade him?
I think so. Like, I just don't understand why you're gonna take. Maybe they're gonna try. Like I think they're obviously gonna take Joe Burrow.
Yeah,
At least it's looking that way
because
right
they're
now.
racist, right?
They are.
Jeff Blake,
But
baby.
okay, I don't want to get into this argument on this pod because we try to be open and inclusive to everyone. But
Keep going.
my thoughts are my thoughts. And anyways,
Okay.
um,
What are some landing
okay,
spots for
so
AJ Green?
you
Patriots?
got me. The Patriots are always looking to pick somebody up,
Yeah.
and especially I don't know if they'd want necessarily him on that franchise tag deal though.
So what? It's not a low contract if it's getting franchise tagged, right? Because what is it? Is
No,
it
the franchise tag
1.25% of what you
it's
made?
something like that. It's there's like a set limit per player, but it's like an upper echelon deal for those
Mm-hmm.
players, but only for that 1 year.
So
Um,
if you
I
do
don't know.
trade for him, the positive is it's expiring. I know it's not like the
Correct.
NBA where like you know.
The positive is that it's expiring, and that you have the option to renegotiate a deal, like a long-term deal with him.
Mhm.
Um, but the negative is that you will have to give something up, and he could possibly leave.
Yeah, so he made 11 million last year, so it'd be like around that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so the downside is that you have to pay him for that 1 year. And you have to give up assets. I don't know, man.
For AJ, and I
And he
loved
hasn't
AJ
played in like
Green.
2 years.
He's getting old. He's getting old for receivers. They're like 30, 31.
Yeah, and he hasn't been healthy at all. That's a stay away for me.
I never thought the Bengals would keep him, but like I was thinking about it the other day, and I was kind of bringing it up here with Burrow. If they think he is like NFL ready, like he'll plug and play week 1, and they're gonna hedge their bets on him. They got Mixon, who, regardless of how bad the Bengals were, he was pretty productive
He especially
last
towards the end of the
season.
year.
And I don't know if they'd look to add any wide receiver talent. Like they might want to keep AJ Green around and see what Burrow can do with him. That'll probably help Burrow's transition a little bit. He's still better than a lot of the receivers out there. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure. I'd place bets on that. So
Yeah, I
I don't know.
wanted the
I never
Patriots to
thought
get
they'd
him
keep
last
him.
year.
I thought they would go full rebuild, but getting Burrow, if they think he's the guy and they think he can plug and play year 1, then I don't know. I guess I can see them actually keeping him for that 1 year at least, that franchise tag deal.
For sure.
And if I'm AJ Green, I'm not holding out because I'm not making that money.
Ever again. Well, yeah, so the only reason he'd hold out is if he wanted a new contract, but like he's not getting that money ever again, right?
No, he's not going to get the money he's getting on the franchise tag deal with any contract.
Okay. All right, so moving on to my boy Tom Brady. An article just came out like earlier today. 8 teams are interested. 4 teams would sign him right now. This is who I think the 4 teams are: Chargers, Raiders, Pats, Bucks.
Oh, it didn't name the teams?
No, they didn't name them.
So I saw something
that the Raiders
I
aren't.
actually forgot to bring up to you. No, it said the Niners were interested in Brady.
What?
Yeah.
What?
I saw it on Bleacher Report. I forgot to bring it up to you.
The Niners?
Yeah.
What? What?
I'm trying to find it right now.
What? I'm just so confused. How would that even... Why would Tom Brady want to go there?
I don't know if Brady would necessarily want to go there.
Yeah, I'm just like, why would he want to go to
It says
like a quarterback battle?
49ers interested in Tom Brady. Pats insider Tom Curran thinks San Francisco's interest in Brady is real.
What?
That says then the Patriots swoop in and get Jimmy G back.
Please. I didn't want to trade him.
But no, I just think it's crazy. Like, so many people are just speculating at this point, and realistically, I can't see Brady going to the Bucks.
Yeah, why?
They just don't have enough around that team. They do have some good receivers, but just because you got good receivers doesn't mean you're a Super Bowl caliber team. I see him going one of 2 places, either the Chargers or the Pats. The Chargers, I think, other than the Patriots, are the next closest team that he could join and potentially like win with right away.
Hmm.
Because they've got a defense. Like they've got some
Yeah.
studs on defense, and they've got players on offense too. You got Eckler and that Justin Jackson dude. I don't know if they're going to keep Melvin Gordon, but if they do, he's another good piece there at the running back position. They can all catch out of the backfield.
Yeah.
And then receivers, I mean, they've got Keenan Allen, Mike Williams. They got some pretty good receiving talent too.
So I saw that the Raiders aren't going to try to like go all in on him, which I didn't really get.
I mean, it's 100% a John Gruden move, and I think John Gruden's an idiot. So, I mean, I could see it happening. I could see them actually wanting to pursue him. I just don't think it's the best place. Like,
Yeah.
if I'm Brady, unless they're just offering me a crazy amount of money, I'm not getting anywhere else.
But that was the thing. I think they said they're like, we're not going to give him a crazy amount of money.
Then that's just, I wouldn't pick them.
What's like I guess the appeal would be Las Vegas ushering in a new stadium, and then John
But you
Gruden,
have
that
one of the weirdest. You have one of the weirdest rosters in the league.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like it was the oldest roster in the league 2 years ago, and then they got rid of a bunch of their veterans and they added a bunch of young players. But you still got this big divide of a bunch of rookies and a bunch of old vets. It's not, you don't got a lot in the middle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. So Jameis probably out in Tampa.
I mean, when you're the 30 for 30 guy,
30,
there's
30
lots of
touchdowns,
pros and
30
cons.
interceptions. Yeah. Keep going.
I don't know. I think it's tough to say that he had a good year because he threw 30 picks.
Yeah,
But
it's tough.
I don't know. I think there's still promise with Jameis. He just needs to cut back on the turnovers, which it's a thing you can do. A lot of those, like if you watched him at all, a lot of those picks, he was just taking shots that he didn't need to take. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and he was playing down most of the year, so he's taking shots to like keep him in the game. I
Now,
guess
30 picks is still a crazy amount of picks.
And honestly, I'm gonna say like 8 of those picks weren't his fault. Those are just like phantom like picks. I had him in fantasy. You did too, because I traded for him. So I was just like, and I would work that morning. So I'd be when I come home, I'm like, all right, did Jameis lose me this week?
One thing sticks in my head. You always said Jameis is the best quarterback in fantasy, and I was like, why is that? He's like, he's the only guy who can throw 5 picks and still put up 20 points.
That's true. Who else can do that? Okay.
I don't know, man. Just he's got talent. He threw for what? Close to 5,000 yards?
I think he threw over 30
touchdowns. Over 5,000, 30 touchdowns. If he can just cut down on the turnovers, then he's golden. But that's tough especially Bruce Arians. That wasn't his guy.
Yeah.
To like trust that he'll be able to do that. So
I saw James to the Patriots. I'd have a heart attack. I would have just like the roller coaster that would.
It's got to be Bill.
True. Josh McDaniels with him. I love it. So what's going on with Dak? Is he gonna get the extension?
Long story short, he wants this huge contract, and I feel like Jerry Jones is doing what he did with Zeke. He's just like holding out hope that Dak will like buy into his scheme, but in the end, I feel like Jerry's gonna pay him.
Yeah, because he's not getting any younger. You know what I mean?
And not only that, he is just super young too.
Yeah. I don't know. The Cowboys are just. I don't really like talking about the
Brady
Cowboys.
to the Cowboys. Thoughts?
No way. That would be.
Okay. The world would lose its mind.
I'm seeing the roadmap. Like, if you're gonna go anywhere, why would you go to the Los Angeles Chargers? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, if you go to the Cowboys,
it's a big name.
That's the most talked about team in the world, and you're probably the most talked about football player. Match made in heaven. But you'd be scrutinized so much. Like, he's already under the microscope. Imagine if he was, like, in Dallas.
Yeah, for sure.
So I don't think you need that stress. And, okay, if you don't win with the Patriots, I think it's fine. Like, you don't need to win anymore. Why? You won 6 Super Bowls. You know what I mean? Like, if you stay, it's like with Kobe Bryant, stayed with the Lakers. Tim Duncan stayed with the Spurs. It was just, it's fine going out. Like, it's fine fading.
Yeah.
Fading isn't bad. Like, I don't know.
I don't know.
Like, if Jordan would have stayed with the Bulls, people don't like talking about his Wizard stuff. But if he just would have rode off into the sunset in 98,
here's the thing:
98,
people never talk about the Wizard stuff. They don't even remember it. And for him, it was a shot. Like, I feel like this for Brady is just another shot. If he doesn't do well here, and whatever, if he chooses to go somewhere else that doesn't do well, I feel like it's just not going to be remembered.
You don't think so?
So it's like,
you don't think it'll hurt his legacy? So. My thing with Jordan is, like,
it's cemented.
That was in, like, 03. You know what I mean? Like, it was a big deal at the time, but there wasn't the internet how it is now. You know what I mean? Like, talking about it 24/7, 365.
Yeah, I could see that.
And I just why would you not want to finish with the Patriots? That have given you everything.
This is coming from a Patriots fan who wants him back, so let's just keep that in mind.
Do I want him back? Yes. I just want to see him retire a Patriot.
He will regardless. He'll sign that 1-day contract.
No, stop it. Stop it. So, best case scenario, he retires today. For me.
Oh, stop.
He's not retiring. Best case scenario, but he's not going to. I'm saying best case scenario for me be if he just retires right now. Then we can just try. You can just move on. That was the problem with those Lakers teams. They had Kobe. You know what I mean? They can't move on when you have an alpha that's not an alpha anymore.
An alpha in the mind, not in the body.
All right, enough with the Pats. I'm done. I'm done talking about them. Do we even want to talk about this AJ Boye to the Broncos for 4th
I just want to say that's disrespectful to AJ Boye.
They were gonna release him.
I'd rather be released than be traded for a 4th rounder.
So this is how you spin it if you're AJ Boye. F the Jags. The Broncos saw me as an asset. Yeah.
Yeah, AJ Boye is still good. He's better than, I'd say, like 75% of the corners out there. He's a good corner.
Yeah. He plays strong safety quite a bit, doesn't he? Or is he just?
I think he rotates up there a little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I just think disrespectful that. Yeah, he might not have had the best season this past year, and that's for a multitude of reasons. The Jags were just a hot mess this past year, but it just
Minshew was their savior.
Just lowered his value so much. I guess the only positive comes out of that is that he's still on that big contract he signed.
Yeah,
but it's just disrespectful to be traded for a 4th rounder. Like a couple years ago, he was easily worth a 2nd.
Easily. And you don't think he was? No, he probably wasn't 1st round material, but like,
no,
he was good.
Easily worth a 2nd.
Yeah, if he got traded for a 2nd and like a 5th, no one would have lost their mind, you know?
Yeah, it would have been the way it should be.
All right, let's shift gears to the best league in the world, the NBA, the association. My Michigan boy, Karis LeVert, dropped 51 against the Celtics.
37 in the 4th.
Quietest 51 ever. Like, in the 4th, I was watching the game. I was like, he's cooking. But then they showed he scored 51. I was like, what? I didn't know he dropped a 50 burger on their head. And that's a game. If the standings like shake out a certain way, this is a game that the Celtics are going to be like, man, we should have won this game.
Right.
Because they were up like 20. And DeAndre Jordan and what was this one dude's name? Number 4 in the Nets. I told Peyton, I was like, I've never seen this dude in my life. And he was hit a crazy step back on Marcus Smart. That's the game that you just like, you wish you didn't lose. Like you had it, you just took your foot off the
It's gonna
gas.
come. It could come back to bite him in the buns.
So I think I don't know. I'm not going to speak for you, but I need to apologize for my Russell Westbrook hate during the All NBA pod. He he's All NBA.
All right, what's with this change of heart?
Okay. Robert Covington playing the 5 basically is mind blowing, and I can't believe I never thought that Steven Adams was like hindering Russ. You know what I mean? I always thought like, man, Russ is hindering Steven Adams. But if Steven Adams is standing in the paint when he's trying to drive and just brings his defender over to him, you know,
Yeah.
like it's wide open. It's kind of how
So
like
you're basically saying the middle of the floor is open now.
it's
Now
wide
if they don't
open.
have
They're
a
playing
5.
5 out.
Yeah,
They're playing
and
like 2K stuff.
he can finally use that athleticism and just get to the hole.
And he's only taking 2 3-pointers a game. This is the dude with Kevin Durant, arguably one of the best shooters of all time. Westbrook was taking the 3, you know. So I don't know, like, because we were always like, man, if he just buys into like lay it or tray it, like lay it, that's it, don't tray it. Like I get everyone wants to be lay it or tray it, but you can't shoot. And he's only taking 2 threes a game. He's getting to the line. The paint's wide open. He's just finishing all the time. Are you going to apologize for the Westbrook hate, or are you still sticking to your guns?
You know, this is tough because I do love Westbrook's energy, and like you're not being cheated when you watch him play. He is going all out all the time, and you have to appreciate that. But I just think when you look at other players around the league and what they're doing, they're getting it done without needing those special circumstances. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like for Westbrook, he needs it to be a certain way, at least at this point in his career. He's never been a great 3-point shooter, but he's even worse now than he was before.
Which is wild. How can you get worse?
And I don't know. Some of the other guard talent we listed, they're just getting it done without needing those special circumstances.
So I'd probably take CP3 out and put in Westbrook at the 3rd spot.
You think so?
And move up. I'd probably move up Simmons to 2nd team.
And just put Westbrook there at 3.
Yeah. Just like the thing is the regular season so far off from the playoffs now that gimmicks can't work like that. You know, like PJ Tucker's your starting center and he's 6'5". Will that work in the playoffs? It's working in the regular season because night to night, you know.
That question's gonna get answered this year.
It is. Like the Lakers played Jokic the other night. Or best big man in the league, arguably, and then you have to play a team with no center, and you have to play their style.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they play, so I kind of want to talk about the Rockets' ceiling. Do you see them as like potentially being a finals team now, or do you think they're still capped to like Western Conference Final at most?
I'm gonna say Western Conference Finals because, and it comes down to the 2 star players they got on their team.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have the best reputation of showing up in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Harden and Westbrook both have proven or shown over and over tendency to drop off that production in the playoffs for whatever reason. And so I can't put my stock in them that they're going to just show up now.
Yeah, just because
regardless of how well they're playing or what style they play, they still got to show up. So until I see that happen in meaningful games that's going to get you to a finals, then I can't put stock in them.
Yeah, so I agree. Maybe a finals team, but so it's crazy. All of the defenders are like on a string, like how you like they're compensating for not having a big guy, and it's like they're all bought into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if Anthony Davis goes wild on you one game, is that just going to go out the window? You know what I mean? Like, oh, this isn't working. Panic. Westbrook takes a bad mid-range shot or something like that. So I don't know.
I don't know. We'll see how it plays out, but I think at that point you just gotta stick to your guns. You gotta stick to what got you there.
Best case scenario, they play the Jazz in the playoffs, I think. Because when they played the Jazz, Gobert couldn't be on the floor. Like, his brain broke.
It basically taken their second best player out of the game.
Yeah, and their best defender by far.
Yeah.
So, hopefully they get the Jazz if they want to make it. So LeBron Zion 2, talked about last week, they get to
Lived
play
up to
again.
expectations.
Better than the first. It's like Empire Strikes Back to a New Hope. Zion, 35. What do you think about the little Zion LeBron rivalry narrative that all these things?
It's so stupid.
It's so dumb. Because
my only takeaway from that game is it LeBron out there? Is that Steph Curry?
Dude, he
He's
hit another one last
logo.
night. Hit another one last night.
I know. He's hitting them for the logo. He's pulling up.
Oh man, the more I watch them, the more excited I'm getting for the playoffs. Cause I'm thinking like, man, LeBron is gonna like make AD like rise to the occasion. Like if AD goes Chris Bosh in the playoffs, I'm gonna lose my mind. I'm literally just gonna like quit.
He's not. We've seen AD dominate them in the playoffs.
Yeah, you're right. Swept our boy Peyton's Blazers like it was nothing.
Swept those purgatory Blazers.
LeBron Zion 2 was great. I just think we just saw them play twice. The last time without AD. That's gonna be a sweep or a 5-gamer. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Everyone's talking about this 8 seed. Like, oh, they have a chance to like actually knock off the Lakers. Or like,
no, they don't.
None of those bottom teams have a shot.
You brought something up to me that I just thought was so funny too. You're like, so the Lakers, LeBron basically traded Lonzo, Josh Hart, and Brandon Ingram for AD, and then beat him without AD. I was like, wow, that's honestly pretty hilarious.
Yeah, like, oh my. He knew, like, late in the fourth, he knew he was gonna break them. He's like, I saw them break so many times last year. They're gonna break. Caruso, their best player.
Right, for sure. It just goes to show, like, I guess a lot of people were giving hate. I don't know if you'd say giving hate, but we're like questioning, like, how's it going to be any better with Anthony Davis if you couldn't get it done with, like, even make the playoffs with, you know, these three guys, this young talent.
Well, him playing 53 games was a problem, but
yes, but just the overall narrative, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're like, how is adding I get it, Anthony Davis is a top 5 player in the league, but
yeah,
just adding him, you're losing a lot of your depth. How is it going to help you make the playoffs? But
it's crazy because
he doesn't even need those guys.
He didn't lose the depth.
If anything,
filled it in. If anything, they're deeper.
If anything, those players, it just justifies them getting rid of them.
It 100% does, because Brandon Ingram was MIA. And, like, it was so good. I was like, you know what? Like, LeBron probably was sipping on some rosé at the end of the night, thinking, showed those kids. Oh my goodness, I love LeBron so much. Okay, moving on. Last night, the Lakers played. I know we're talking a lot about LeBron. So they should be proud of what they did last night. They put up a fight, and they didn't have Embiid or Simmons. Their best player was Tobias, had like 18. I think that was the highest scoring guy.
Really?
And they only lost by 13. Come on.
Come on, dude.
Dude, to the 1 seed in the West in LA.
I guess.
And they were competitive for most of that game.
Hey, if you're into moral victories, I guess that's you.
I think that is a moral victory. Like, if I'm Brett Brown, I say, "Hey, you guys, we did a good job out there. No Ben Simmons, Shake Milton, you're turning to a star." That was my Brett Brown.
if I'm Brett Brown, I'm packing my bags.
I'm packing the bags. He's lucky. They need to fire him, by the way. So, okay. Let's play a little game. Want to play a little game? Who are you trading? Embiid or Simmons, first off.
Okay, I feel like we've already kind of talked about this indirectly.
Okay.
I'm easily trading away.
Okay. So, let's just say we're co-GMs here, and I'm indifferent. I'm like, okay, I want to get rid of. I'd rather
One
have
of the two.
Simmons, but we got to get rid of one of the two. You're like, I really want to get rid of Simmons. Okay, fine. If I call the Washington Wizards and say Bradley Beal for Simmons, Shake Milton, a pick, who says no?
If I'm the Sixers, I'd say no to that.
Really?
I wouldn't give up Simmons
Plus,
a
so
pick and another player just for Beal.
who's the better asset? Simmons or Beal?
Simmons is the better asset.
Okay, Simmons, Beal, straight up. Who says no?
I still wouldn't do that if I'm the Sixers. I would want Beal and see if you can finagle like a second rounder or something.
Okay, all right.
Because Simmons is younger, not even though he's not that much younger, but he's younger than Beal. Beal's surprisingly young still. I thought he was starting to get up there in age, but no, he's still really young.
Yeah. He's like,
I mean, you got to think they're going to get John Wall back, but at this point,
John Wall is not an asset at this point.
I know. Like, you got to think they just don't have him. I don't know if he'll ever make a return to the NBA. Like,
wow.
at least at the. No, it's that sounded pretty bad. I just mean he's never going to be as good as he once was,
again.
and even as good as he once was,
he wasn't
even that good. Like, wasn't that big superstar.
It was crazy because Bradley Beal was the better player the whole time, but everyone kept telling us, the people, that John Wall was the better player.
It's because he's the point guard. He was still really good. Like, don't get me wrong, he was still a really good point guard. But
yeah, that's
now
what
that you've seen it. Now that Bradley Beal's been able to kind of take this one man show, he's been playing really well.
I agree.
And so if I'm the Sixers, I'm trying to get the Wizards to buy into the fact that Ben Simmons is better. He is better than Bradley Beal. That's not a discussion.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to trade him straight up. I'm going to try to get something in return as well. But I would try to trade Simmons because he is the better asset. And I just feel like
he's a better asset than Embiid.
The league's so guard hungry too.
Yeah. Well, he's not a guard, so he is, but
he's a guard. Come on.
So I think it's funny that we're talking about Westbrook.
Whatever you want to call him.
So the way we're talking about Westbrook was the way, like, I was talking about Simmons when Embiid was out, when he hurt his hand. Like, I just unlocked the floor for him, and I think if you if you build something around Simmons, like, oh, we're gonna play like this. You know what I mean? That's just the worst pairing ever, and it's good. 20 years from now, we're gonna talk about Simmons and Embiid and just look back fondly on the circus that it was.
If I look back at, yeah, I don't know. I thought it would be able to work. It's just that Simmons and Embiid clashed too much.
Well, it's
their style to play.
It's just unfortunate because with Embiid and Simmons, they were always getting compared to Shaq and Kobe. You know what I mean? Like the one-two punch like that. Like, oh, the Sixers have Shaq and Kobe. Well, it doesn't help when you're right-handed point guard shooting left-handed and can only finish at the rim. And Embiid is trying to shoot threes.
If anything, Simmons and Embiid is more like Magic and Kareem. Because Magic didn't necessarily have that range.
Okay.
But Magic could hit down some mid-range shots. He would at least take some mid-range shots. He could space the floor a little bit better.
I'm glad you see the Mad. So,
can.
My girlfriend Peyton asked. She was like, who do you think compares to like Magic Johnson? That's like a younger player. I was like, probably Ben Simmons, tall point guard, playmaker. I don't know. I don't even know why we were talking about Magic. All right, so Giannis Antetokounmpo probably a lock for the MVP now. After the super efficient week he had, he dropped like 41 and 20 the other night on 34 minutes.
Yeah.
That's insane. But so that's crazy, right? But showing that he's doing stuff like that in that short amount of time, doesn't that also say that your team's better? You know what I mean? Like that you're only on the floor for a short amount of time. So are you really more valuable? You know what I mean?
I think he is, just because even when he is on the floor, I think him being on the floor puts them in that position to be up so much that he doesn't have to play as much. You know what I'm saying?
True. Yeah.
Like they play so well with him on the floor that he's able to rest, or not rest, but play 34 minutes a night and still come out with the win and be that efficient.
Yeah. So
Like while he's on the floor, he's obviously the center, the focal point of everything. That's why he has those stats in that short amount of time.
yeah. Um. That was the argument with like Curry when he was the unanimous MVP. The fact that he was unanimous blew my mind. First of all,
First ever unanimous MVP.
I,
Only unanimous
I
MVP.
just thought that was so silly that he was unanimous. But I thought he was the MVP. But like none of you guys thought LeBron was the MVP that year. I don't know. I'm still bitter about LeBron not having more MVPs.
That was his first year in Cleveland or second when he won unanimous?
Second. So
Oh
they
yeah.
were the 73-9 team. But
Yeah.
I guess like if you go 73-9, you should probably have the MVP. You know what I mean? Like they should be represented there. You know.
Hmm.
But whatever. LeBron should have like 10 MVPs. So this is crazy. I don't know if you saw the note, but I don't know if you like understood like what it means. So Steve Ballmer, the owner of the Clippers, is probably gonna buy the Western Forum. That's where so
It's where the Lakers used to play.
that's where they used to play, and he was like, okay, like they weren't gonna sell it to him. I think James Dolan partly owns the Forum, and so does Genie
Yeah,
Bus.
I think. Yeah.
And they're like, he's like, "F you, I'm gonna build one across the street." And they're like, this is so weird. So then the Lakers, like, they're the team in LA, you know, like no one's a diehard Clippers. Like I'm sure there is, but how many Lakers fans there are to Clippers fan is like 4-1,
If not more.
if not more. That's very generous. And they've always been like the stepbrother in the Staples Center. So the fact that they're moving and not like Genie Bus is not gonna get a piece of like them anymore. You know what I mean? Like she's not gonna profit off them anymore. They're just gonna have this one-time purchase, and then it's gonna be so weird because they get these crappy matinee games on Sundays at like noon their time.
Yeah.
And now they're going to be competing head-to-head with the Lakers. It's just weird. Like the Nets and the Knicks, they play at the same time. But if they're both premier, like I don't get the reasoning for moving out of the Staples Center. You know what I mean? Because you're not going to be the head honcho in LA.
But they want to be.
They'll
And I
never
think
be. I don't think.
I think if they want to be, though, they're gonna. I get it. They're never going to be, but they want to be. And if they ever want chance of ever becoming that, I think they need their own place.
Yeah. So that's the thing too. But I know for a fact he's going to try to compete against the Lakers. You know what I mean? Like have games at the same time, make traffic in LA even worse. I don't understand what the benefit is to competing against the Lakers so soon. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because like, when are they going to get the Forum? Probably not next year. And what if Kawhi and Paul George don't come back? You know what I mean? You're going to have like a crappy Clippers team again? Because Kawhi and Paul George are not coming back, by the way. There's no way. Even if they win those 2 years, you know? What do you think?
I mean, if they win those, say they win both, I don't know. I could see them staying there. I mean, they're both in LA. They're both from
They both where they want
the
to be.
area. Yeah, like I just don't see why you'd leave, especially if you got a good thing going. You're where you want to be. You're winning. Like, where else are you gonna go? They're not gonna go anywhere else that's not California.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. Go to the Kings.
Yeah, just go rebuild the Kings next.
All right. So we looked at the standings last week. I want to do it again because I just want to like monitor what the matchups are going to be. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So right now in the East, we're looking at Bucks Magic, Raptors, Nets, Celtics, Sixers, Heat, Pacers. Which is the most intriguing for you there?
The most intriguing matchup?
Yeah.
Let's see. Honestly, depending on if Simmons and Embiid get healthy
Hmm.
or say they're healthy at that point, I like that Boston Philly matchup.
I do too. Like that was a lot of people's like Eastern Conference Finals, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think like I said last week, if the Sixers can get in the playoffs, like on kind of a roll, I think they're a problem. Like as one of those lower seeds. Like the fact that they're 6th seed is so mind blowing to me. The Heat Pacers though, whew, some old school stuff.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if Old Depot can return to form a little more until then. But I feel like the Pacers are easily outclassed by Miami right now.
Yeah, so the Raptors are 9 games back of the first seed, not getting that.
That's so crazy.
Celtics, they could have taken the 2 seed last night. I'm pretty sure they could have.
With that win.
Yeah, so they're 2.5 games back, or they're 1.5 games back out of the Raptors. The Heat are 2 games back from the 3 seed, and then 5, 6, 7. Wait, 5 and 6 are 2 games back from the Heat, and then the Nets are 10 games back from the 6th spot.
That's insane.
Man, the East has such a big drop off. Those for the 1-2, those are gonna suck. Like those series are gonna be with sweeps probably, but you know that's the East. And the West, we're looking at
The West.
the least
The West.
right now as of today. Lakers, Grizz, Clippers, Mavs, Nuggets, Thunder, Rockets, Jazz. Some barn burners. Okay,
Honestly,
out of those, which is your favorite?
okay. I'm kind of liking this Clippers Dallas matchup right now.
Yes.
I want to see Luca take it to them, bro. Like right now, if the playoffs were to start right now, I would be all up in that series because I want to see Luca and can't forget about KP.
One player of the
I
week
just want to
last
see him
week.
take it. I want to see him take it to
So
those two pretty boys in
okay.
LA.
So if Luca takes down the Clippers in the first round,
Go.
I'd lose my mind.
We'll have to have some new GOAT discussions.
Yes. And everyone knows. All right, I'm going to say this. I don't think I've said this on the pod at all. I've been on Luka Doncic since he was 16.
I think you have said
Since
it.
he was 16! Just
So
saying.
many 2K teams.
So many. At least like 8. Starting with Luka Doncic and just seeing what happens. The best one I ever did was with the Pistons. And so the My GM thing kind of had you do like a storyline. Like you had, like they gave you a draft class in the first one. You can like import one. So I had this big dude that was kind of like Jokic, but I'd hit like these. They called him like the Serbian Anthony Davis, was what his like name was. So I had him and Doncic. I played on like the hardest difficulty and like I only won one title, bro. It was a grind, but that one title was so worth it. I felt like Dirk with his one. So interesting thing here is the Mavericks could move into the 6th seed. They can move as high as, so they're 2 games back from the 4 seed, which is a huge swing. You know, like you'd have home court that first round,
Right.
and then you'd play one of the people you just passed. So you wouldn't play like one of those upper echelon teams, you know. Nuggets are 1.5 games out from the Clippers, so they can get the 2 seed back. The Lakers have like a 5-game lead. They're 5.5 games ahead. You're probably not getting that. You're probably not getting there. They probably have that 1 seed locked up, and they're gonna face like probably the Pelicans. People are thinking the Pelicans are gonna make that because they have the worst like remaining schedule.
Yeah, no, I don't know. The Grizzlies, I'm surprised they're almost 500, honestly.
Well, did you see like this meme? It was like LeBron threw the game against the Grizz. and then
So that
beat the
way,
Pelicans twice.
so he could play the Grizz.
Yeah, he's like everyone's playing checkers. He's playing 10-dimensional chess. So, like I said earlier, Rockets Jazz. I really want to see that because I want to see this Rockets team like get far. Like I want to see, but they'd be in.
Dude,
The problem is if you're the 4 or 5 seed, you're in the Lakers bracket.
yeah.
So
I don't know. Across the board, all these Western Conference matches
the Western Conference matches. What?
are going to be fun.
Yeah, I agree.
Even the whoever's that 8th seed is. I mean, I'm hoping it's Memphis or Portland. I'd love to see Anthony Davis chop down Portland's hopes again.
Poor
But
Peyton. Poor Peyton.
yeah,
Were they
just
the
across
3
the
seed
board,
that
all
year?
those. I don't remember.
I think they were the 3 seed and got swept by the 6. Yikes!
It was so short. It ended so fast. It didn't
It
stick
was like
in
a
my
blur.
memory.
Like did that happen? All right. I think that's it for all that. Right. Time for the Hall of Fame.
Time for a Hall of Fame inductee
Who we
to the
got,
Slick
Roach?
Daddy Club.
Who we got?
Big fundamental. Timmy D got his first win
Tim Duncan.
as an NBA coach last night. 1-0, baby.
Undefeated.
Perfect
I
100.
put that as one of his accolades that he's undefeated as a head coach. So 5-time NBA champion across 2 decades. He won.
Go across 2 decades. Yep.
Oh, come on.
He won it. He won in the 90s. Actually, 3 decades. He won his first in the 90s, didn't he? 99.
It was the 99-2000 season.
I think so.
Yeah.
So 3 decades, 99, 2007, and 2005.
I think it was 99-2000. I don't know. Those right after the Bulls and then before.
Well, this is
The
our
Lakers
pod,
kinda
so it's
murky.
3 decades.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we can just say it. Don't need to fact check us. 3 decades. 5-time NBA champion, 2-time league MVP. I think those MVPs get forgotten.
Honestly, I didn't. Yeah, they do.
3 times
That's-
Finals MVP.
That's no easy feat.
One more than Kobe. I think it's crazy. I think it's crazy. Kobe only had 1. 3 Finals MVPs, 15-time All-Star, 10-time All-NBA first team. So for 10 years, he was the best big man in basketball. 8-time All-Defense first team, and like we said earlier, undefeated as a head coach. I'm putting you on the spot, Roach. I don't know if you thought of your favorite Tim Duncan moment. Did you?
Well, I didn't. But there was a pretty funny moment that happened last night, actually, where he pulled a pop with the media and just shut down all their questions. I don't know if he did that
On purpose?
I'm sure it was intentional to because he's filling in for Pop. I'm sure it was intentional, but I just thought that was funny.
Yeah.
But no, I just honestly, I started getting into the NBA during those LeBron Heat years,
Yeah.
and especially like that last finals when the Spurs beat them in Miami.
Yeah.
I don't know. There was all this hype around Tim Duncan and the Spurs, and I was like, Tim Duncan, like this dude does nothing special.
Well, you saw him at the tail end, so.
Well, that's true. But even like when he wasn't, like the dude, he doesn't do anything special. He just does everything well.
He does the
He
fundamentals.
does everything so well.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's just a different type of player. He's not flashy, but he gets it done, and he gets it done better than almost anyone else ever did. Like, I don't know.
So keep going.
I was gonna say, I guess it's kind of tough for me because, like you said, I didn't really watch during his heyday.
I didn't watch during his peak. Well, 07, he was like at the end of his peak.
Yeah.
But so I have 2. 2003 NBA Finals, Game 6, game clinching performance. He had 21 points, 20 rebounds, 10 assists, 8 blocks.
Jeez.
But listen to this. Arguably had 2 blocks taken away. So he would have had the quadruple double in a game clinching in the final.
Oosh. Oosh.
So around that time, this is when Shaq was winning all of his Finals MVPs because the East didn't have any big guys to like throw at anybody.
Right.
So he was robbed the quadruple double in the Game 6 of the NBA Finals. Crazy. And so that was the last Jason Kidd year. I think he doesn't come back to the Nets after that. Correct me if I'm wrong, people. But all the talk going into that finals was that Jason Kidd was going to go to the Spurs. So he's playing his maybe future team, but then Tony Parker goes crazy. And they're like, all right, we should probably keep Tony Parker. So, big what if. Because I don't think
big what if.
I don't think they win. What did they win? 2 more after 03? No, they went 3 more. 05.
Did they win 3?
05, 07, and 14.
Yep.
So that probably doesn't happen. And then my last favorite moment, it was crazy because me and our roommate Marcus just watched this last night. The Game 7 from 2013, the game after the Ray Allen shot.
He went nuts.
No, he doesn't go nuts.
Oh.
In the last, with like 30 seconds left, he has this hook shot that he's hit 1,000,000 times. Nobody's on him. He misses. And then he pounds the floor in defense because he knows, like, I'm probably never getting a chance to come back and do it again. And the next season, they're best team in the league. So I just love the bounce back. He takes kind of a step back. Like, he's still playing well, but it's, kind of Kawhi's team now. Monty's doing a lot of ball handling. Tony Parker is still kind of at his peak, towards the end of his peak. And that moment, they think like, oh, Timmy's never going to get back there. And then he bounces back, wins his 5th. So yeah, Tim Duncan, newest inductee into the Untitled Hall of Fame. Currently we have Jordan, Kobe, Tim Duncan. That's pretty good company. We were going to mix it up this week with a non-basketball player, but it was timely for Timmy's undefeated performance. I think that's it for this week, Roach. What do you got for me, you silent boy?
Well, I was just taking in your Tim Duncan history lesson there.
Yeah, I kind of went off right there.
But it's fine, I love to be educated on, especially our Hall of Fame inductees.
Yeah,
they can't be in there without, me knowing their history. So that was nice. But I don't know, I'm just looking forward to the rest of today, just chilling.
Yeah, this weekend is gonna be fun.
This weekend's gonna be fun. I was actually looking it up. Bucks Lakers Friday. That's gonna be cool.
Ooh.
Bucks Lakers Friday night.
The late game or the early game?
The late 10:30.
Even better because we're gonna be up.
We'll be up wide and awake for that one.
Gallivanting. All right. That's it for us this week. Make sure to shoot Roach happy birthday texts, happy birthday Snapchats, happy birthday Instagrams.
I accept them up to 3 days late.
Well, you're not getting one from. I'm gonna wish Jason Tatum a happy birthday after this. Like us on YouTube, subscribe. We got subscribe on Apple Podcasts, subscribe on Spotify. I think that's where we're all at. We're on Spotify now. Finally, they finally made it easier to get your podcast on Spotify. All right, so till next week, we're still gonna tease the oral history thing. All right, happy birthday, Roach. See ya.